Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online divorce, valuation, and mediation services in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we will discuss divorce finances, tracing marital assets and separate property with Beth Garrett and Bob Boyd. Bob Boyd is a family law attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, and co-founder of Boyd, Collar, Nolen, Tuggle, and Roddenbery. Bob is a leader in family law who has received recognition from his colleagues across Georgia and the nation for his work in high net worth divorce litigation and contested custody cases. Beth Garrett is a lawyer and accountant in Atlanta, Georgia. She's also a partner in the Divorce Litigation Support Practice at Frazier Deeter, primarily assisting high net worth individuals and corporate executives with divorce, tax, and accounting issues. She helps people through mediation and works with divorce lawyers through all financial aspects of litigation and child support matters. She's also a valuation expert and has a credential. Welcome, Beth and Bob. How are you? But we also have these issues if a family business was owned prior to the marriage, right? So we've talked about valuation of a lot of different assets and property, but what about the business? Like, what are some things that we should be considering, or is it the same as an investment?
Well, the only way I would say it's the same is in sort of the terminology that we use, but I think the way it manifests itself is very different. So very, very, very important when we're looking at a business that existed at the time of the marriage already and still exists today is we talk about active versus passive appreciation. But the idea is that with passive it's a lot harder to prove passive appreciation in a business, especially one that you are running or that you own or that you have a very high position in, than it is in a stock that is just appreciating on the stock market. So that's why at the beginning I delineated a publicly traded stock, because when we're talking about family businesses, we have to it gets very subjective, and there's a lot of factors that we can look at, but we want to look at what was the market doing during this time. Is this a product that just got hot and went crazy and the market just was buying it up, or was there some amazing strategy that the owner had that they are the reason that this company increased in value? And so did the company just what is first we would try to figure out what is the increase in value during the marriage. So what was the value at the time of the marriage? What is the value today? Then we look at that appreciation and delineate between, okay, what's passive, which might still be premarital, and what's active that would have some kind of marital component. Then it gets further complicated because people might argue that the owner has been fully compensated for any active work that they've done. So they've gotten a paycheck every year. They've gotten distributions. Those have all gone towards the marriage. So they've essentially pulled out the active appreciation every year. So I think some of the biggest fights or just there's always a lot of litigation around this idea of this business and whether it's marital versus separate.
Well, and I think that, with the business, the only way that you can kind of understand is that if you have a share of like Apple stock, right? And you have a share of Melissa's valuation company, right? That share of Apple stock, I'm not doing anything to make Apple go up or down in the shares, right? But I am doing a lot to make Melissa Gragg's valuation company that go up and down, right? And so I think that a lot of times most of the states are trying to delineate that. So they're trying to figure out, and that's where if I have a active part to play in the increase in that value, okay, what does that mean? If I did nothing, what does that mean? And those are all of the, like we've tried to talk about a lot of the issues, but I also think, do you have any other examples where something seemed clear cut and it wasn't? Or times where you've had kind of parties that thought they understood what was going on, but they didn't have the documentation or anything like that.